I am in the book of Exodus in my daily Bible reading. The people have just come out of Egypt. They've seen plagues, parted waters, and pillars of fire. But now they stand at the base of Mount Sinai, and something is different. The ground shakes, the sky darkens, thunder rolls. God is drawing and he gives this warning. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot. Whether beast or man, he shall not live. Exodus 19 ESV. That's the penalty for stepping onto the mountain God has made holy. No exceptions, no second chances. Not even a hand was allowed to reach out to help the one who crossed the line. We're not used to this kind of God. We prefer the Jesus who touched lepers and let children sit in his lap. And yes, that is God too. But we must not forget what they saw at Sinai, a holy God whose presence could not be approached casually, a God who was not like us. And when he drew near, he made the ground itself sacred. If the ground was holy, so was the boundary. So why stoning? Why not just send an angel or strike them down with fire? Because this wasn't about private justice. This was about communal reverence. In Israel, stoning wasn't done by one executioner. The people gathered and took part. Not as a mob, not in hatred, but as a people bound to the holiness of their God. When someone defied the law, especially something as sacred as the boundary around God's mountain, it wasn't just a violation of a rule. It was a violation of the covenant. And the whole community bore the weight of it. The stones weren't random. They were a way to say, this matters. His holiness matters. We are accountable to it. And no hand touched the guilty. Why? Because to touch the defiled was to become defiled. The sin had to be dealt with, but not absorbed. The stones created space. They kept sin at a distance. They maintained purity while preserving justice. This is hard for us to sit with. It feels distant, brutal, harsh. But maybe that's the point. Maybe we need to let it ache a little. Because in our rush to grace, we can forget what grace actually saves us from. We forget that holiness has weight, that sin is not just a mistake, but a rupture in the relationship between Creator and creation. The truth is, we don't live at the foot of Sinai anymore. But we still live in the presence of the Holy One. And here's the beauty. God still keeps boundaries, but he also crossed them. He didn't abolish his holiness. He made a way through it. He came down, not in thunder and fire, but in flesh and blood. He still called for reverence, but now he called us closer. And the same Jesus who stood in the path of stones, refusing to condemn a woman caught in sin, is the one who stood in our place when justice demanded a verdict. This same Jesus, full of grace and truth, is not to be taken lightly. He is still holy. And what was true at Sinai is still true now. We don't get to come to God on our terms. We come on his. But praise God, we now come through Jesus, the one who bore our sin and absorbed the justice we deserved. So maybe today we slow down a little. Maybe we ask, what am I treating casually that God calls holy? Maybe we put down our stones and remember the one who carried ours to the cross. And maybe, just maybe, we feel the weight of his holiness, not to drive us away, but to draw us near. We'd love to hear how this encourages you today. Feel free to share a reflection so we can all grow together.